Hello, Morgan. James here. Just thought I'd take an opportunity to talk to you a little bit about Week Five's Assignment 2. And if you look at this drawing and compare it to one that you did maybe 3 weeks ago, I think you're going to see some definite improvement with your figure drawing. The, um, the proportions have improved, and I also think that you're more comfortable with drawing the figure. So I'm very excited about the progress that you've made, and I'm going to encourage you to keep working at it even after class is done because I think that it's starting to come around, and that's exciting. That's good stuff. As far as the drawing is concerned, I do have a few suggestions to make. Uh, I think that you've done a pretty good job introducing highlights. I think they feel pretty natural as far as a light source is concerned throughout the body. I'm not seeing it as much on the face. Even though you've included some, I don't see it quite as strongly on the face. And also, since the light is sort of coming from this direction, I think on the neck, the highlight should be on this side instead of this side. So, throughout the body, I think that it works pretty well as far as the direction of the light is concerned. I'd also like to see you do more shading, like under the chin here. I'd like to see it like through here, the back of the leg, under the leg here, where the arm touches the leg. These are sort of the places that I'm interested in seeing you add more shadows and more shading. And don't be afraid to go dark. It's going to add more interest to the image. It's also going to give you the eye some place to flow along the figure. Right now, you're sort of in the middle tones with light tones, and it's sort of hard to find places for the eyes to rest. So that's what I would suggest you do. Now, in my notes, I had suggested that you do a more complete drawing, which includes props. This figure is obviously sitting on something, but I don't know what he's sitting on because that information hasn't been provided. I'd like to see you add whatever the guy's sitting on and a little bit of the environment around it. It doesn't have to be, it doesn't have to be exotic and it doesn't have to be complicated like a furniture showroom, but I would like to see a setting. So think about that for the final. Proportionally speaking, I think this arm, this leg, they seem to be all right. Um, I think that for the face, you need to bring the eyes down. Remember, the eyes are at the halfway point of the head. So if you have them up too high, then that makes things look a little off. The nose should also come down as well. I think the mouth's all right. The neck probably could stand to be a little shorter. Probably the head could start off right around here. If we look at this arm, we have a very long upper arm and a very short lower arm. Now, that could be that you may be thinking about that in terms of foreshortening, but think about how you're going to go about showing that foreshortening. There should be a line there that sort of shows the upper contour of that arm, for instance. And that's going to make this arm look a little less distorted. I mean, this one has sort of a normal forearm. If you compare the two, this one's really long, where this one is more natural. Another problem that you run into is with the leg. You have a fairly proportional thigh here, but if you look at this thigh, it's too long. So think about relative measurements, and I know that foreshortening is going to throw things off a little bit, but where it really counts, still do the measurements and figure out what the proportions are. For the torso, you have a huge pectoral muscle mass here. Probably they aren't quite that big, and if you go a little bit smaller, it's going to make the torso look a little less short. It's looking a little short at this time. So those are just a few of the proportion issues that you're going to run into. I don't think they're insurmountable. I think that they're doable. But the main thing I want you to concentrate on is giving me an environment for this figure. And take care of that. Take care of those proportion issues. Add a little more dark shading. And I think you'll be in pretty good shape.